Okay, so for this tutorial, we are going to be making a pillow in Blender, and this is going to be a very quick one, so let's get started. You select the cube in Blender, you press tab to enter into edit mode. Then we scale along the z-axis, so SZ negative 0.02 on your numpad, and then we scale along the y-axis, so SY. Then we scale it a bit, something like this. Then you left click to confirm. So this is the best shape for the pillow. So we have to add in some loop cuts. What the loop cut does is it simply breaks down the faces into smaller parts. So you press Ctrl plus R on the keyboard. Then this yellow line should appear on your mesh. But in case it doesn't appear, you need to hover around the mesh. And then you scroll up on your mouse to add in faces. So we are going to add in 30 faces. Left click and right click. Then add in the same 30 faces on the other side as well. Left click and right click. Then we press tab to exit the edit mode. Then from the properties tab, you come into the physics properties. You click on it. Then you select plot. Then you scroll all the way down to pressure. You activate pressure. Then you change the value to 1. And then you come all the way to field weights. And then gravity, change the value to 0. And then you come to the cache. Then you can either change the start and end frames for the simulation, but we'll leave it like this, and we press bake for Blender to calculate the simulation. So the baking has been done. So all we need to do is press play animation on the key on the play tab. Then the simulation will take place like this. So when it gets to a frame they are satisfied with the look, you can just stop the simulation over there. So I'll stop it right here, somewhere here, and then come into the modifiers tab. Then click on the drop down arrow and then click on apply to apply the simulation to the mesh. So after doing this, this will be the current state of the mesh. Even if you move from the start to the end of the frames, nothing will change. So right now the pillow looks very low poly, so we need to make it smooth. We can do that by right clicking and shading smooth, but we still get some sharp edges on the pillow. So we need to use a modifier called the subdivision modifier. So we click on add modifier, then subdivision surface. So now we have a much more smoother surface. So after this step, you go back into edit mode. Click 2 on your keyboard, not in the dump pad. The numbers above the keyboard, the keys on the keyboard. Then select 3 on the keyboard. Sorry, 3 rather. Then you double click this part to select the whole face loops. And then you press Alt plus E on your keyboard, then extrude faces along normals. Then hold Shift on your keyboard to extrude it slightly. Then left click to confirm and tap to exit the edit mode. So now we have something like this for the pillow. So the next thing we have to apply the subdivision surface. So click on the drop down arrow, then click on apply. So that's basically it for the pillow. But to add more details, you press Ctrl plus A on the keyboard, then apply the scale. Then from this drop down menu, select sculpt mode. Sorry, and then scroll all the way down to cloth. Then come to the active tool and workspace settings, and then from here you can change the effect that the cloth would have on the pillow. You can either choose drag, push, pinch point, pinch perpendicular, inflate, grab, expand, and shake hook. We are going to use drag for this tutorial. So click on drag, increase the strength a bit and the radius a bit, and then left click and drag. Okay, so let's say you're satisfied with the look. Then go back to the drop down menu again, then go back to object mode. Right click and shade smooth again. So now we need to add materials to the pillow. Just as in the previous tutorial, click on this balloon. Then there's a material already assigned to it. So go to viewport shading mode. And then assign a color to it. So let's say something like this. And then turn down the specular. And then increase the roughness a bit. So that's it for the pillow.